swing in the favor of Brett Rogers. He's got a 3.5-inch reach advantage, and he enjoys at least 1 inch in height.
And as we move into the Grand Prix fights, let's go over the rules of the fight one more time.
Yeah, definitely for the Strikeforce World Grand Prix Heavyweight Tournament. Of course, all the quarterfinal bouts, free 5-minute rounds. But if any of the fights tonight end in a draw, there will be a 4th round, a sudden victory round to determine a victor.
All right, fans, here we go. Strikeforce and Showtime present 3 5-minute rounds in the quarterfinals of the Strikeforce Heavyweight World Grand Prix. Introducing to you first, on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, standing at 6 feet 3 inches, he weighed in at 256 pounds, with a record of 29 wins and 5 losses, with 7 knockouts and 17 submissions to his credit. From Fullerton, California, please welcome the world-renowned former heavyweight world champion, the baby-faced assassin, Josh Barnett! Fighting out of the red corner, standing at 6 feet 4 inches, weighing in at 258 pounds. With a record of 11 wins and 2 losses, he has 9 knockouts and 1 submission. Here is the big-time striker from St. Paul, Minnesota, the former heavyweight world title challenger, introducing Brett "The Grim" Rogers. And our referee in charge now to give instructions, Kerry Hatley.
Here we go. Okay, gentlemen, this is the quarterfinals of the heavyweight tournament. I've been giving you instructions in the judging room. Expect a clean, hard fight. Got any questions here? Any questions here? We're going to touch them up. Let's do it now. Good luck.
The Strikeforce World Grand Prix quarterfinal. Our first fight, Brett Rogers in red, Josh Barnett in black. 3 5-minute rounds.
I wonder if here in Dallas, Texas, if Josh Barnett might pull up the dreaded Von Erich claw, Frank.
That would be cool.
There's a kick from Rogers that Barnett didn't find too cool.
And when you asked Josh Barnett if he was going to take Brett Rogers to the ground, he said, no, I'm going to take him to the moon.
One of the best promo men in all of sports. Josh Barnett knows how to sell a fight, and Josh Barnett knows how to fight the fight, and here it is. First take, holy shit. Thunderous takedown by Barnett. We talked about suplexing his way to the semifinals. Well, takedowns might just do it as well.
Now it's a catch wrestler. What can we see from Barnett when the fight comes to the ground?
Well, you're going to see him not worry as much about position as much as he'll be going for submissions. Right now, he's just going to wait a little bit. He can tire Brett Rogers out, and then he'll start his flow.
So it's the antithesis of BJJ where they say position before submission. Catch wrestling, it's all about aggressiveness.
All about aggressiveness and going for holds. He wants to chain those holds together. So once he gets a position that he's confident in, and Brett starts moving around, he's going to start his chain.
Come on, out about it. This is not where Brett Rogers wanted to find himself this early in the fight, or at any time. Top wrist lock going, attempt there by Barnett. And again, when dealing with a catch wrestler, let's use the catch wrestling terms, Brett.
Yeah, that was a shoulder lock.
Shoulder lock. Maybe we're going to see the crooked head and nexus.
I hope so. Good scramble. That's a scramble we were hoping from Brett Rogers.
What about the Frank Gotch toe hold?
Yeah, that'd be cool. Camel clutch.
I don't know if that's catch wrestling.
Should be. Watch for the knee bar. That leg up means knee bar.
You know, against Fedor Emelianenko, Brett Rogers actually displayed some great scrambling technique for a big heavyweight, was able to get back to his feet, but now, out, Gus.
Now Brett's got to turn around and put his feet on the cage and elevate those legs, Brett. That's what he needs to be doing right here. Got the big man on top. Look at him scooting towards that cage.
Barnett coming into this fight, weighted 8 pounds heavier than his last North American battle against Gilbert Ivel back in January of 2009. Rogers is actually smaller, lighter than when he faced Alistair Overeem. Coming into the cage, better shape, but
What do you want to do, Frank, if you're Brett Rogers right now and you've been mounted by Josh Barnett?
Well, Barnett's just riding him. He's sucking the life out of him right now. He's trying to get him to slow down a little bit so he can set up his chains. Rogers got to put his feet on that cage because Barnett's way too big to bridge off in a regular bridge, and he's not going for holds right now. He's just chilling. He's cross-facing. He's looking to do damage.
And there, the feet on the cage by Brett Rogers. Now Barnett, round and round.
Oh, come on! Do it!
training with catch wrestling kings like Carl Gotch, Billy Robinson, Matt Hume, and of course Eric Paulson, whose philosophy is that the human body is a submission waiting to happen.
Yeah, Barnett's going to just soften him up here, lay on him, drive his hips into him, look how far his knees are. He ain't going nowhere for a few minutes.
Rogers has to control the posture now. It's a ground and pound and try. Nicely done.
The problem is those big hip bursts, those big explosions, they take a lot of energy.
Of course, having a guy that weighs in around 256 pounds on top of you doesn't help in the gas tank department either. He's just holding on for dear life right now. Less than a minute remaining in the opening round.
And look at that entire body weight of Barnett is surfed out on Rogers right now. He's just sucking the life out of him.
40 seconds remaining in the first round, scheduled for 3 rounds. Josh Barnett in the black trunks on top, Brett Rogers in red on the bottom. This is the Strikeforce World Grand Prix quarterfinal.
That's a smother right there. Josh hasn't been as free with those elbows as I thought he should have been.
Fans not appreciative of the groundwork right now. Brett Rogers and Barnett have been on the ground for over 4 minutes.
I think he's a little nervous. He hasn't been in there in a while. That's a dangerous man in front of him.
He's trying to restore his reputation as well. The only man in mixed martial arts history to test positive for steroids 3 times. He contends all 3 times that he did not take steroids, and now he's trying to show Brett Rogers what catch wrestling is all about. Nice lateral drop right into full mount. And you talk about the striking advantage that maybe Brett Rogers was supposed to have before he got confused strike. Barnett landed Rogers 35-2 in total strikes in that opening round, and he had 4 dominant positions. All Barnett, all the time in the opening 5.
Barnett's got to free up them elbows. This is a really dominant position. He should be cutting that face and trying to get Rogers to make some movement from here. There's a side choke set up right there. Rogers got to get that arm across. He's going to choke him with his own arm. Now, Barnett's got to get to the side.
And he does. Barnett tipped down Brett Rogers.
Nice side choke. He tips it off the moving spot to the side and put even more weight on it.
Fuck, I didn't see.
Getting choked. Start with it.
Hey, guess what? Remember my take on MMA predictions? Actually, on the MMA show in Canada, I predicted Barnett for a 2nd round submission. There you go.
You get nothing for that, though.
Catch wrestling specialist picks up his 18th win via submission, his 30th professional MMA victory, and he will now face Sergey Haratonov in the semifinals of the Strikeforce World Heavyweight Grand Prix. And again, in Haratonov, a guy with superlative striking skills. Barnett, we know what he can do on the ground. Again, as tight as it is, Ken. Wow. As tight as it is. Catch wrestling, Ken Shamrock, the guy that trained you in catch wrestling.